Hello there, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Lone Crown Show. Today, I have brought back the amazing Ciara King. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Crown. Thanks for having me back again. I feel very special.
Yes, yes. It's also you're one of the easier persons to get back because you're any day okay shit I can
Yep.
just choose any day. I remember scheduling with Chris. I was talking to him in January. I had to schedule something in February. So
Yeah. Well, Chris is a busy man. Chris
yeah.
is a busy man. I'm currently walking around my kitchen in my pajamas and my dressing gown making tea. So,
Yeah.
and today's my day off as well.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. He lives the double life of radio and being
famous.
YouTube
Exactly.
extraordinaire. Um, so, how have you been doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm tired. Because we've just had a week of shows. Back after a weekend after I had a family wedding.
Oh,
So I've been trying to catch up on my sleep all week
yeah.
and do the show as well. And then I do this TV thing on a Thursday as well. So I'm kind of running around on a Thursday. So today I
Mm.
just plan on staying in my pajamas and my dressing gown and chilling out.
Yeah, those are good days. When
Yeah.
you've worked for so long and then you get to the day you're free and you're like, I'm not doing anything.
Yeah. So what I think I'm going to do as well is I think I'm going to set up Netflix. Have you heard of Netflix, Crown?
Yes, I've been subscribed to Netflix for, I don't know,
And
I
is it good?
remember how
Do you
long.
find it good?
Um, Yeah, I find it good.
Yeah.
Also, I may be using an app so that sometimes I get the UK version and sometimes I get the
Okay.
American
We'll say
version.
no more. We'll say no more. I hear that there's certain Irish people using a certain app that means they can use the US Netflix as well. But I read an article the last day to say that they're cracking down on that. And I was like, oh,
Uh,
typical. Just before I get Netflix, they're going to crack down on all that.
yeah,
Not that I would do anything illegal.
I'm I'm just I'm using. I know that these apps are not whenever they the app is going gone, the app is gone. I'm like it's understandable.
Yeah.
The only thing that I like reason why I use it most is because for instance when 4D when and Chris puts out his thing, I need to
Mhm.
use that if I want to watch it because it's closed off to the rest of the world, which I find kind of weird, sort of.
Is that on channel 4OD, is it?
Yeah,
Is that closed off to the rest of the world? Cause
yeah,
I downloaded an app. I downloaded the 4OD app onto my phone so that I'd be able to
or
watch them.
UK and Ireland. I'm guessing it's only.
Oh, really? Okay, that would make sense. All right, okay. But it doesn't make sense though. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, some I understand some shows that you can I don't know really everything that's on 4D. I understand that some shows that people may want that's everywhere in the world. Maybe they don't want people watching that. But the problem is when like shows that aren't in the rest of the world, the crack addict stuff.
Yeah,
I want to watch that, so
yeah.
for me to use it, I have to use
And
something like that.
did I see that you watched me on TV3 before?
Yes.
And how did you do that?
Yeah, also with this app
Oh, really? Okay.
on the TV free player.
Okay, interesting. There you go. Because I couldn't believe that you were able to watch it.
Yeah, yeah.
So there you
I
go.
don't remember when first I tried that.
Mhm.
Hmm. I tried one of the play when you guys were doing the New Year thing.
Oh, yeah, yeah. On Late Lunch Live, I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how I get get to watch everything and that sort of
Okay.
stuff.
Good. I'm so bad at computers and apps and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I
the thing I like the most is the tune in. Is where how I listen to your radio.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I think I downloaded that for a while actually.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Somebody told me about that, so maybe I'll download that again. Yeah. No, that's cool.
yeah. So that's how I've been listening to it because one of I had problems with uh, the radio stuff I can on a radio player on RT. That one I
Well,
can.
I'll have to send an email.
That one I can actually listen to without like the app and that sort of stuff. They're like allow everyone to listen to that, but I had a problem when it just suddenly stopped working for like a month for me. So that's when I got the app TuneIn app instead. So.
Yeah, and you're all set to go to Canada, are you?
Yeah, sort of. Like it's hard to like. You can't really like start packing and just make your final preparations until you know like when you're leaving.
When you're definitely leaving, so it's all kind of up in the air. You're in limbo.
Yeah, exactly. So,
yeah, that's annoying, but you'll get there.
Yeah, I've been.
And then we'll never hear from you ever again.
Why?
Canada's just so far away.
I mean, like it's the same time distance as Jameson. So.
San Francisco.
Yeah, it's the same time difference as.
Okay, so you'll be able to listen still.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe it'll be better for your health actually.
Yeah, it will be like it depends. Sometimes I'm probably gonna be. I've counted out that's like the show. Your show starts around like 2 in the afternoon Vancouver time, so that'll probably depends on
what your work situation is.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
so some days I probably, because I know that I will probably just work. Oh shit. And she got a call or something, I think. What's good?
Crown.
Yes.
Hi, how are you? Sorry. I got...
Oh. I think she got a phone call. Absolutely good. Wow. Gotcha. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Come on. Wow.
Hi.
You started
Sorry.
singing.
I'll tell you, that was my friend that was ringing me because he is going for a run with me later because you know I'm training for the VHI mini marathon.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for your donation, by the way.
Yeah, no problem.
I really, really appreciate that. Last night, myself and Chris were talking about on the show, and we discovered that if we played, the music from Chariots of Fire, then it made the whole thing just sound so much better. So anytime we're going to talk about the VHI mini marathon now, we're going to play that music in the background. I can't remember what it is pronounced. It was began with V anyway. I must look that up. Anyway, sorry about that, but I'm going running with him later on. So I'm a little bit nervous because he's really going to push me, I think.
Okay.
And he's one of those guys who is like, you're just going to be able to do 10K, like Ciara, like, and there's no point in stopping. I'm like, okay, so I actually think he's the best person ever to take me running this evening, you know?
Yeah.
I'll probably arrive back, my legs not working and crying and stuff. But, it'll be good. It'll be really good for me.
Yeah, when it comes to running, I've been having a bit of an issue. I've been, it's hard when you, like, don't know when I'm going to leave and stuff. So I can't really, like, plan. So when you don't have, like, running towards a goal, I would say, like, you have a goal of running the mini marathon, and that's a good goal to have, but I can't, like, I don't know when I'm leaving. I can't set up anything like that, so.
Well, that's all right. All in its own good time, you know.
And also,
I didn't think this time last year that I'd be training to do the VHI mini marathon, you know. So you never know.
Yeah, and also I don't like mini marathon that's about as far like I would possibly run before I actually more get bored than anything.
I'm the same. I don't understand how people do marathons. I respect them. Yeah. I have been to marathons in Barcelona and Rome and Dublin, and I've seen people
Yeah.
I've been at the finishing line and I've seen people crossing and I've seen their, the joy, I've seen the exhaustion, I've seen their toenails
Mm.
fall off, I've
Yeah.
seen them not be able to walk properly for days afterwards.
Yeah.
I've seen the training that's gone into it. I've seen like bloody nipples on tops, and it's just like, why? Like,
Oh
why
yeah,
would
the
you want to
bloody
do that to yourself?
the bloody nipples is like
Oh,
that
oh
is so
God.
dumb. That's like you have to tape your nipples like that, like
Oh
that.
God. And also chafing.
Mm.
Like, they can't walk because their shorts are so far up their arse because they just
Oh
ran for like 26 miles. And I'm
yeah.
like, I appreciate you. I respect you for doing what you did. But like, seriously, is it worth it? Is
Yeah.
it worth it?
Yeah, we all this Monday we all had a all female run here in that goes on every spring. I was quite it was really good turn up for it as far as
Yeah.
I could tell. And yeah, Sweden is like Sweden is running crazy when like
Is it, yeah?
when it comes to running and that sort of stuff. Like
Yeah.
and just doing we have toughest, which is like obstacle course um, event type of thing.
Oh
And
yeah, I think we've got something like that called Hell and Back in Ireland.
yeah, so we
It's called
have
Hell and Back.
yeah. Yeah, well, it's a tour, so it has different places in Sweden. So first off was my town, and my one of my best friends did it, and he been bugging me to join him in
Yeah.
this thing, and like I told him like I'm not trained at all, and you think I'm gonna like it's 8 kilometers and it's like obstacle course thing, and
Yeah.
like you crazy. So yeah, and my mother has ran Stockholm Marathon.
Wow, well done her.
Yeah.
Chris's dad runs marathons like every single year. He does the Boston Marathon every year. He
Yeah.
does the Connemara Marathon. That's where myself and Chris are from.
Yeah.
And and people say this, they've been to marathons across the world and they find the Connemara one really, really tough because where we're from, it's like really rural. It's just loads of like winding, meandering roads and mountains.
Yeah.
And there's no one kind of standing on the sidelines like you would in a city.
Yeah.
So you're very much on your own when you're running it. And people say like that it's the toughest marathon. Chris's dad does it all the time, and he does it in like these amazing times. Like you should ask Chris. The man has run I don't know how many marathons, like, and he always comes like near top in his age group as well. He's amazing.
Yeah. My like Stockholm is also a really tough one because like hills and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's very much up and down, up and down. And
I would probably
it's
die.
small islands and that sort of stuff. So you run over bridges where like when you get to the bridges, like it's like you get all the wind in the world. So yeah, it's one of the tougher ones. So if she gonna run a marathon again, it's not gonna be in Stockholm.
Why doesn't she come to Dublin? It's all flat.
Well, I think she either like Berlin or Copenhagen was the next one she wanted to do. So that's I find it crazy, like
but big respect to everybody who does.
Yeah definitely.
I will happily sit here and do a mini marathon and never do a marathon. So
Yeah,
it's not on my bucket list.
yeah. We have we have a mini marathons as well, like in the end of like August, September, something like that. It's you run at night. So it's a midnight run.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, like there light up fires all around the
city.
Run. Yeah.
Wow, that sounds cool.
Yeah. So I was, if I weren't going, I probably would have aimed for running that.
Well, you never know what sort of activities you'd be able to do in Canada, you know?
Yeah, I have no idea either.
Yeah, that'd be pretty exciting.
Yeah, it's getting closer. I mean, it will probably hit me more when I get the final date.
Of course.
Then the body will start to
Yeah.
prepare.
Yeah, and your mind and all the rest, and everything will fall into place.
Yeah.
Just have to see it as a big adventure.
Yeah, I mean, it's the only thing that like the living situation is the only thing that like terrifies me because I have no idea how that's going to end up. So
Yeah, you
that's
don't know who
the
you're gonna live with, but you know what? That's an adventure in itself
yeah,
too.
yeah, that
And if you don't like where you're living, you move.
exactly.
You know.
Yeah, and in the beginning, just travel have not much on me probably just
Mhm.
so until I get settled in somewhere.
Yeah. Will you promise me that you visit Niagara Falls?
I won't promise that, but hopefully.
Why won't you promise that?
uh, because I don't know, like with it, how tripwise how and what I'm going to do because yeah, I have other places that already that I want to go to and
Okay.
friends I want to see. So that's what more the reason too. Because I, for instance, know someone in Seattle, which isn't that far from
Canada.
Vancouver
Okay.
area, and then also I know someone in Los Angeles and San Francisco and that sort of stuff. So
Okay.
yeah, Jameson is in San Francisco. So
Oh my God. It'll be like a mini reunion.
yeah,
That'd be so cool.
yeah.
That would be so cool. Well, if you do meet Jameson in San Francisco, you're gonna have to send me photos.
Yes, of course I will.
And then maybe we can have another mini reunion in Dublin. Me, you, Chris, Jameson, and party it up.
Yeah, that sounds like a great time.
Yeah. Anyway, Crown, you have me on today because you've been following, is it the Everyday Sexism program?
Yes, exactly.
Now, why does a boy of your age follow the Everyday Sexism program out of interest?
Oh, how
I'm
did I? How,
massively,
yeah,
I'm massively impressed by
yeah,
the way.
yeah. I'm trying to remember how I got onto the project in the first place. Hmm. I like I don't exactly remember how I got onto the uh, project in the first place. There must have been some sort of tweet some person have linked or
Mhm.
and I just found it and or just heard about it. Anyway, so yeah, I heard about the everyday. Yeah, I think it was a news article on a Swedish site. I think because it
Mhm.
was I think when they were about to hit 1 year. I think Everyday Sexism project,
Okay.
or it was some sort, or maybe it was just a couple months into it, and they had gotten ton of responses and that sort of stuff.
Okay.
So yeah, so I started following that because I'm interested more because I'm always in like that's one of the reasons why I watch so many TV series, so many movies, so many stuff because I'm interested in different things and different perspectives and that sort of stuff.
Mhm.
And being a male person, I like the sexism is far less. Plus, being in Sweden, I would say we have it much less than other countries. I'm not saying we don't have it because,
Mhm.
like, it is in every country, but Sweden is one of them that where it's really looked down upon,
Mhm.
and I would say probably like nightclubs I've heard is like ridiculed with sexism here in Sweden. So there is still a lot of problems when like women go out on nights. That's
Yeah.
probably because people get drunk and stopped caring about what they're doing. Is
Yeah.
my
Yeah. The
think.
inhibitions are gone, kind
Yeah.
of.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Exactly.
I understand that. I do. I get that.
So yeah.
Um. So I do.
So yeah. So from your like how is it general with sexism in Ireland, for instance?
Oh, in Ireland, see, it's sexism. It's such a broad term.
Yeah, I know. I like
It.
you can definitely tell by what but like the everyday sexism Twitter account what it retweets and thinks sort of like sexism because like some of the stuff I don't feel like that's not sexism, that's like
Mhm.
almost sexual assault, almost
Yeah,
like
yeah.
groping and that sort of stuff. And that's not sexist.
That's not
That's
that's just wrong.
yeah,
That's not, that's that. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's such a broad term,
yeah,
and you have to be, as you said, so careful like that because you can't call a man sexist because he gropes women.
yeah,
Or but you but if he gropes women, is that not sexual assault? So it's all
yeah,
very kind of,
yeah. Exactly, it is.
you have you have to be so careful
Mm,
when you do talk about it because then you'll take away from the importance of what actually is sexism. If you
yeah.
were to break it down, let's say in terms of, let's say, jobs in Ireland, men are still being paid more than Irish women.
That is something that's still have been an issue here in Sweden as well. We're getting closer, but
Yeah.
I think it's an issue everywhere in the world.
Oh,
Like
it's an
getting
issue
closer.
across the board. And
Yeah.
what's worrying about Ireland, though, like we've seen a decrease, or sorry, an increase in that between 2008 and 2013.
What?
So, like,
Huh?
yeah, men were ahead by like, I think it was like 12.2%, and now it's 14.4%.
Oh
And it's
damn.
like, wait a second, have we not come so far? But obviously not,
Yeah.
obviously not. I think that, oh God, there's sexism in every sector and
Yeah.
every kind of aspect of life in general,
Yeah.
and we've come so far in so many ways,
Mm.
and then we haven't in others.
Yeah.
Personally, myself, there has been times where I've been like, okay, that's not cool, and I think that I may have been treated in a particular way because I am a girl, you
Okay.
know. But
Okay.
at the same time, I'm the sort of girl who I believe that men and women are equal, but yet at the same time, I think it's so mannerly when a man will open a door for you or let you walk inside. So what does that make me?
Yeah.
That sort of way. So I think about these things because I'm like, no, I like it. I like a man with good manners.
Yeah.
That maybe that's old fashioned of me, but I think it's so polite when a man will let you, and maybe it says more about me. Maybe it gives me the kind of, oh, that it's the whole chivalry thing. I
Yeah.
love chivalry,
Yeah.
but if I were to say that, sometimes I'm afraid to say that in this modern world because maybe I'll be seen as, Kira, you shouldn't think that way because you should be opening the door for the man.
Yeah.
That sort of way.
Yeah.
And I'm
But
like, you know what? Actually, no. I think it's okay if I
mm,
like a man who will open a door for me and show me manners.
yeah. I.
And I would like to think that I'd be just as mannerly back to them.
Mm,
So I do really believe in equality. And this word feminist, right?
yeah.
Honestly, a lot of people on the internet have made me really dislike that word.
Yeah,
And
well, I think the biggest problem is when you want something to be equal and
yeah,
have it be like have it named feminist. That is a really big problem because like men feels really threatened apparently about that word because
yeah,
that's how they see it. They see it like the females taking over. It's not like all it's
mhm,
meant to be about equality,
yeah,
but like having it being a word that's like feminist, it's like a female word.
mhm,
Although there's many like male words that the female like have come to terms with, but men for some reason like can't do that. So I don't know. It's
mhm.
really tough to have like word people get behind that's like female.
Yeah, this is what I think. I think that in the past, obviously, you see, it wasn't until like Christianity came in.
Mm.
We're really kind of going to get into the nitty gritty of it. It
Yeah.
wasn't until really Christianity came in where these roles for women and men started being defined.
Yeah.
Like pagan Ireland was mad crack,
Mm.
and men and women went to war together, and
Yeah.
women were chiefs, let's say, and
Yeah.
women were queens, and men were kings, and men were chiefs, and men
Yeah.
and women used to paint their bodies, and they used to go into war beside each other
Yeah.
and together, and they used to have these big, massive orgies, and everyone
Mm.
was kind of sleeping with everyone. And then Christianity came in,
Yeah.
and no one was allowed to kind of do that anymore.
Yeah.
And then it became very much about the woman and the home and the house and the man as the provider, especially
Yeah.
the 1930s, 40s, and 50s.
Mm.
And so it's like we kind of went backwards in that period. But that's where the feminists, I think, came up for the women who came out and wanted to get the vote. for
Yeah.
women, and like so many other things, like Simone de Beauvoir. She was this. She would have been a female philosopher, and she would have been, a major feminist in the day. And she was talking about things
Yeah.
that I guess people didn't want to talk about, like women not wanting to have
Yeah.
children. And this was at a time where a woman was supposed to get married and have babies because that's what women were supposed to do.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you're gonna, break it down even more so, that is what our bodies are programmed to do.
Yeah.
That is the reason that we have certain body parts and men don't have other body parts or whatever.
Yeah.
But to me, like, honestly, this is the way I feel about men and women. I'm so delighted that we're different, because wouldn't the world be so boring? Men annoy the absolute life out of me because I find
Okay.
them so frustrating.
Okay.
And I get that women annoy the absolute life out of men because
Yeah.
we have just a completely different way of thinking.
Yeah.
And that's what makes the world go round. And that's what makes us, that's what makes us tick. And that's what makes people, males and females, friends. Or, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, we're just
Yeah.
completely programmed biologically and mentally completely differently.
Yeah.
And that's okay. That is absolutely okay. But we should be both on an equal par with that equalness, if you know what I'm trying to
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
So I do.
Mm.
I see men as equal to me.
Yeah.
I do. I would feel just as upset if a woman was suffering in, let's say, in a workplace, than I would, let's say, if somebody was being horrible to Chris in the workplace.
Yeah.
You know, I don't see gender an awful lot of the time. I just see people that I care about that
Yeah.
just happen to have different body parts to me.
Yeah.
And I
I'm
know,
the
and I
same.
know that's just basically me just trying to and I would have male friends and female friends. I care just as much about my male friends as I do about my female friends. I do think there's things that women are better at, and I do think there's things that men are better at. And I honestly think
Yeah.
that's because of our scientific or genetic makeup.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really
Definitely.
do.
Yeah. Yeah.
I,
Yeah. No. No.
I think that
Understand.
because I had an argument with my friend once, and she said in Ireland especially, when your parents grow old, my friend was saying to me, why is it always the woman has to look after the elderly mother or father? And I'm like, well, it's not, it's not the way in all cases. And she's like, Ciara, majority of cases, it is the daughter always has to look after, the elderly parent. And I was like, all right. And she was like, it maddens me that she has two brothers, and she said it maddens me that I'm going to have to look after my parents and my brothers won't do anything about it. And
Okay.
I was like, it's so, but it is so true though.
Yeah.
And when I say this, men are just as caring as women, but I think women have this biological instinct in them to care because we bear children.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Like.
And I'm not saying that men don't. I'm not saying that
No,
men don't.
my grandparents. It's my mother who mostly takes care of. Like it's not that my uncle doesn't do it. He also helps out
Yeah.
time to time, but me and my mother is the ones that mostly helped out. I drive them to places or like
Yeah.
help them out with the garden stuff, putting down stuff from the attic and that sort of stuff. So yeah, so it all depends. Like I kind of do most because I have mostly free time, so I'm the one that helps out the most. So it's I think it all depends on the situation.
It does
So
depend on the situation. No, I completely, completely agree with you. There's also this whole thing that women are more empathetic than men. That's been kind of going around for a long time as well, and I think that's true in a sense.
yeah,
As in, men will just be like, no, that's ridiculous. Whereas women will kind of think about it and go, oh, give them a chance.
yeah,
Again, I'm not saying that that's all men or whatever, but
no,
it seems to be the kind of knee-jerk reaction, let's say.
yeah.
You know?
I'm sort of when it comes to like me, where I don't sort of relate to most men stuff, but I also wouldn't like I feel like I'm like neutral ground when it comes
Yeah.
to how I am as a person. I'm like I enjoy stuff that a lot of females enjoy, and I
Yeah.
enjoy stuff that a lot of men enjoy. So
Yeah,
I'm like
and
in
I'm
middle.
exactly the same way.
Mm.
I'm exactly the same way, and I think that maybe that would, I don't know, mean that we're very comfortable in ourselves
Mm.
and comfortable, with the whole, and aren't we lucky?
Yeah.
Aren't we lucky as well at the same time? So yeah, no, I get it. I also think that men are physically built differently to women. So this
Yeah.
argument, that why can't a woman do that job too? Yeah, I'm sure she could, but there's certain jobs that men do that is simply down to the fact of their, as I said again, biological
Yeah.
makeup that makes them stronger. And that's
Yeah.
okay to say as well that men can be physically stronger than women.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're built differently. That's okay. And I think that women are just as strong as men
Yeah. 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 I mean, I have.
mentally. Just our physical makeup. Like
Yeah.
Chris, let's say we take example myself and Chris. Chris
Yeah.
is stronger than me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Physically.
Yeah.
He would win in a fight.
Yeah.
I'd probably get a good couple of kicks there. But
Yeah.
and like there's no way of there's no way of denying that because the proof is there, the evidence is there standing in front of you, and I think that's also okay too. I like a strong man.
Yeah.
And women can be strong in other ways.
Yeah. Like, when you pointed out females can also, like, I know someone who is actually female and she's a welder, which is like not a normal type of job for most women, and I find it really cool that
it's great, and you'll see more of that too. I mean, like there's absolutely no reason why you can't go in and do that. To me is mind-boggling. Why would you not do something that you've always wanted to do?
Yeah.
And dreamed of doing, unless it was physically not possible.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and also with this one thing I've noticed a lot with the person who runs this everyday sexism project, Laura Bates, is that like we all know that the sexism thing, like it also goes, like there are also men who suffer sexism.
Yeah.
That is one of the biggest problem people have with this campaign, is that they seem to tend to focus more on the of course they're gonna focus more on female stuff, but they kind of don't address most of the male stuff.
I think that's getting better though. I think that the male stuff is getting better. 20 years ago, if a man came out to say that his wife had beaten him up, he probably would have been laughed.
I don't mean like in general. I think it's getting better. I'm just saying when in this campaign, or at least how she sees it, it seems like she doesn't really care that much for that side of the thing. I'm just I've been reading comments from a lot of people, and many of them have actually poked hole in her arguments when it comes to the male side and that sort of stuff, that it sort of feels like that part she doesn't really care, which I understand. She did this because of the sexism towards females, so it's also maybe hard to get perspective, so hopefully that gets better, because it would suck if it ends up because a lot of people would if she just keeps on doing the female part, people are gonna not, I don't know.
I understand what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
Everyday sexism should incorporate men as well, but unfortunately, it is kind of probably more obvious towards females.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
But it was mostly when.
Well, women can be sexist.
No. Yeah. I understand that, but it was I saw someone linked a whole blog post of there was a ton of these things that they sent in to the Everyday Sexism project of male sexism, and they were not showing them as much. And,
okay. So she was focusing on the females.
Yeah, and I've just sort of found that weird that you wouldn't incorporate more of that. No.
Well, then, what a man should do is set up a male Everyday Sexism. That would be interesting, though, wouldn't it?
That wouldn't work at all.
You don't think so?
No, because then it would see as an attempt to like by men to like, oh, uh, look at all this, like, oh, it happens to us too, like, it would like, I sort
Well,
of feel
if
like
we
it
if
would
we well
clank
look,
down
if
on
we
the
live in an
females.
equal world, surely that should be allowed, you know?
Yeah, it should be allowed,
Mhm.
but it would be seen as an attempt to sort of clank down on like
Mhm.
the female part more than it would show equality.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, it's a funny old one, Crown.
mm,
I think there's a lot of things that women would get offended, that other women would get offended by, let's say, that I wouldn't.
yeah,
Or I would get offended by something that would, like, what annoys me, this is what annoy me, like if somebody offended my intelligence,
yeah,
that would annoy me.
mm,
That would literally, like, that would drive me crazy,
yeah,
you know?
yeah,
Because it's one of those things. It's like, well, why wouldn't he think that I'm smart, or why
yeah,
wouldn't she think that I'm smart? That sort of way. So it's
yeah,
obviously my own issue as well, like
yeah,
whatever. But that would bother me,
mm,
whereas it might bother the girl sitting next to me.
yeah,
So it's different folks, different strokes.
yeah,
I see a lot of this stuff on everyday sexism, and I'm like, wow, this is pretty horrific. Like, and
yeah,
you know, there have been times when men have said something to me, or you've been in a club and you have felt someone grope you, and
yeah,
you kind of have to feel more sorry for the people that are doing it,
yeah,
because how on earth in a right mind would you think that that's an okay thing to do? I wouldn't go up
mm,
and grope a man in a nightclub.
no,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah, it like feels really like,
It's so weird, and
I,
it's an invasion of everybody's
yeah,
privacy, and I mean that on both male and female,
yeah,
behalf. But what I don't like is the anger. If a man is rejected, the anger that he turns around. I'll never
yeah,
forget myself and my friend. We were in a bar. My friend is gorgeous, and the two of us were sitting there.
yeah,
We were just chatting, and this guy came over, and he was a little bit drunk, and we weren't rude to him or anything, and he
yeah,
was obviously interested in my friend.
yeah,
And she was like, buddy, she was like, I have a boyfriend. He was like, I
yeah.
don't see him around, and you've no ring on your finger or whatever. So we ignored him, but not in a horrible way. We
Yeah,
just continued on having our own conversation.
yeah,
And then he started getting thick. And I just said to him, I said, look, I said, we're just out for a night out. We just want a couple of drinks. We don't want any hassle. And I kind of just said, look, have a great night. And he just turned
mm,
really, really aggressive.
yeah,
And he was like,
yeah,
fuck you anyway. And I wouldn't piss on you in a fire. That's what
yeah.
he said to me. And I was
Well,
like, what did I do to deserve that? Like, I
well,
kind
some
of,
people are angry
you know?
drunks as well. Tend to get aggressive when
And
they're
and
drunk.
that's what I don't like. It's like, lads, you know, and that is one thing it's like, lads, oh, come here.
Mm,
Like, I'm sure you're a nice person, and I'm sure, okay, maybe your pride might be hurt, but like, there is some girls that are dickheads, and like, oh my god, get
mm,
out of my fucking face and fuck off, and don't give guys a
yeah,
chance. And the same as well with guys, but don't if you do get
yeah,
rejected, or if you do feel rejected, I know it's a male pride thing,
yeah,
don't turn aggressive and say something really horrible, because that says an awful lot about you.
yeah,
You know, I think.
yeah. One thing that I've seen now that UK has had elections,
Mhm.
and it's the very thing interesting is I read the latest Guardian piece by Laura Bates on the sexism they use in like the 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 election. Holy
Oh, come here.
damn! Oh,
The media, but sure, the media
holy
is the
crap!
worst.
Yeah, that's like I've noticed like they, they, like if that type of thing happened in Sweden, they would get crucified.
Yeah, no, the media is the worst. Like, I know me and Chris talked about this on the show before, but it was in the Daily Mail,
Yeah.
and it was Cameron Diaz had married one of the Madden brothers,
Mm.
um, and it was like Cameron Diaz, 46,
Yeah.
marries Joel Madden, and he's like 38 or something
Yeah.
like that,
Yeah.
And it was like, why did you have to put her age in there? Like,
Yeah. They
it
always
was
put
so
the age
horrible.
in though.
They do. They always put age in. The Daily Mail is the worst. Like, the Daily Mail is the absolute and utter worst. Like, we get, don't get me wrong, a lot of content for our show from, the likes of sites like the Daily Mail or whatever. But
Yeah.
that is the worst for women.
Yeah.
And it's loads of post, oh God, I'm trying to think of somebody who's pregnant, and Mila Djokovic has come out to say that she won't lose her baby weight, and
Yeah.
it's like, here's oh god, I'm trying to think of actresses now. Let's say, for example, here's Kate Winslet and her first post body pics, or
Yeah.
first baby body pics, and you're like,
Yeah.
you fuckers, that is just ridiculous. Like, I don't know, I've
Mm.
never had a baby.
Yeah.
I can imagine, like, I know what it's like to feel bloated, right? I
Yeah.
can't imagine what it's like to feel fucking 9 months pregnant.
Yeah.
You know, and that does annoy me. That really, really does annoy me.
Mm.
And I've heard guys go, you know, when they hear someone's pregnant, they're like, oh, there goes that figure.
Yeah.
I'm like, you fucking assholes. You know,
Yeah.
this is a big deal. You're carrying a baby, human being inside you for 9 months. That does
Yeah.
bother me, I have to say.
Yeah, like just seeing all the like the election stuff and like how it's so rampant with all sexism towards like the female leaders
Do you know
and
who?
that
Do you
sort
know
of
who I
stuff.
think
That's
is going to
just
get? Yeah, I think that Hillary Clinton is going to get absolutely crucified with her presidential campaign.
I honestly feel like yeah, well, no, I think she will definitely manage it. I like there are always the like the media in America that's blatant against one side and blatant against another, but no, I think I'm for. This sounds British strange, but I don't feel like they're gonna attack her for her female side as much as
Okay,
others
that's interesting.
because like I don't know, like I think it's all about how a person looks in the media, and she's probably just gonna wear the standard like suit she always wears and that sort of stuff. She's gonna do everything to not gamble at all with her appearance. It's going to be the standard appearance all the time.
That is very true, actually.
The PR stuff knows exactly how to
Yeah.
get her at least attacked as possible, and
Yeah.
yeah, I think she's gonna get because the PR there they know that they're gonna like attack her for being a female because
Yeah.
that sort of stuff, but they gonna lessen the attacks as much as possible, and I think she does have a really good shot at, and yeah, but the problem with the whole election in most countries like America is it's just two sides. Like it's like choose the lesser evil. It's sort of
I know.
when I see the American election, choose the lesser evil because none of them feels
Yeah. That's
good.
mad, isn't it?
Yeah, and also like it's clear like for instance you have Obama who's a fantastic speaker but doesn't seem to be
Doing anything.
yeah, and also he doesn't seem to be very smart as they thought he would. Like some like talks he like speeches he has like they've implemented he said stuff that like makes no sense and nobody would really want and that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's yeah, it haven't gone that fantastically with Obama, but I mean, like right now America is problem all over the country, and their problem with laws, I would say more than anything, outdated
that's true.
laws. That's yeah,
So look, that's the problem in every country, Crown.
yeah.
Look at Ireland.
Yeah. I think I think Sweden has it kind of nice. Maybe that's why we looked at one of the best countries to live in, like Scandinavia in general. We have updated a lot of our laws and updated most of the stuff. Only problem we currently have is getting our education sorted, and also we also have unemployment like every other country.
Have you ever suffered any sort of sexism?
Sort like the stuff that I should like. I'm people. I would say I'm getting more remarks because of how skinny I am. I don't know if that would count as
No, it does.
sexism, but yeah.
So, no, it kind of does, Crown.
Because people keep have always been like, oh, you should eat up, or like you should eat more,
Build up your muscle.
yeah, or
Mm.
like drink alcohol. It's good. You get a lot more on you and that sort of stuff.
That's the worst piece of advice I've ever heard in my life, Crown. Drink more alcohol to get fat. So what is it like? You're a man, so you have to have muscle. You can't be skinny, and you have to drink alcohol.
Um,
That's
like,
kind of
but
sexist in a
but
way.
yeah, but like the people have said it are more the
Kind of
people,
very
more the
gender
people that
stereotypical.
are over 60, 70, or at least my, yeah, like my,
Mhm.
the stuff like my grandma says sometimes that a
Mhm.
little bit. Well, also my stepmom, her parents are also sometimes they're ones that like, oh yeah, drink more alcohol, you get.
Yeah, it's not the answer, Crown.
Yeah, I know that. I
Oh,
mean,
Crown, I get that. I was at a wedding at the weekend, and I had so many American relatives, and they were like, Ciara, are you at this wedding on your own? And I was like, no, I'm with my mom and dad. And
mm,
they were like, is there nobody special in your life? And I'm like,
yeah,
I've got lots of special people in my life. And they're like, but like, and then basically it was like, but
yeah,
like, are you on your own? As in, do you
yeah,
not have a boyfriend? And I was like, no, no, I don't. And they felt so sorry for me.
yeah,
And I was like, oh my God. And, it's getting
yeah.
to the stage now where one of my friends told me that the last day that I was in a rut. And I was like, I am not in a rush. Thank you very
Yeah,
much. I'm having a great old time career wise. I'm
yeah,
in great form. You know what
yeah,
I mean? Like I'm working out and I've got projects. And I was like, wow, that's pretty interesting that she thinks that I'm in a rush.
yeah.
And I've got 7 weddings
Wow,
coming up in the next couple of months.
holy
And I'm
crap.
half of me. One of them one of them I'm going with my college buddies who are both lads and girls, and I
Yeah,
can't wait for it because they're my friends.
yeah,
And we're all kind of going together. We've all
yeah,
decided that we're going together.
yeah,
And then I've got another family one, and then there's
yeah,
other ones, and it's like, yeah, God, I can do it, but I know they'll get like everyone is kind of pitying me.
yeah.
I'm like, do not pity me. I am strong and I am happy.
Yeah.
That sort of way. But it's because I'm the
Mm.
age that I am,
Yeah.
and I know I mess about it on the show and stuff like that, and I know we talk about it and stuff
Yeah.
and all the rest. Like, but that is one thing I've definitely noticed in the
Yeah.
past, let's say 2.5 years, that I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
a lot of people really place their own status and their own self kind of
Yeah.
respect on the fact of whether or not they have a partner.
Mm.
And
I,
I see it a lot with girls in their mid 20s and late 20s.
I'm one thing that always for that my mom has always been a role model in that regard because she has been I don't know how long she's been singing like since like for it must be like 20 years now or something like that, and
Yeah.
she she doesn't care about the relationship at all. Like
Yeah.
when she got me, she like really didn't care at all about
Yeah.
that anymore. And but like and people always when she was a bit younger, people like a relationship and that sort of stuff. But she just like if I meet someone, I meet someone. I don't gonna go looking. I'm comfortable in myself, and she's always been like a
Mhm.
really extremely happy person. Always like motivated and all of that. Like
Well, that's great, Cran.
she's the person that makes a place more fun to work at because like she's extremely popular at
Mhm.
her work, and like one of the higher ups in the company. She works at a bookstore that's or I would say the only bookstore chain left in
Yeah.
Sweden. Uh, and she met one of the higher ups went and saw the store and met my mom, and afterwards she asked my mom's boss like who was that extremely happy person,
Are
and
you
like
serious?
yeah, and then like wow she was and that sort of stuff. So like she people take notice of her because she's great with customers and like just
Mhm.
generally
So she's
happy.
happy in herself.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
well, that's the
like
most important thing for
yeah,
both men and women.
yeah, and she exercise and she goes to gym regularly and like she's like really I wouldn't say buff, but she's really really strong and like she
Mhm.
goes like running, of course, like I said earlier,
Yeah.
and so she's knows what she wants in life and
She
does
goes
it.
and gets it.
Yeah,
Well, go her.
yeah, my sister, one of my sisters is the same way as well,
Mhm.
who is now uh, like going educating for doing like apps and that sort of coding
Oh
for
yeah,
that.
you were telling me about her before, I
Mm.
think.
Yes, so yeah, she's also a good role model to have because she's always been like not caring at all what other
Mhm.
people say, and like I wish, like especially when I was younger, I wish I was that type of person that
I know,
didn't.
but you know what, Crown? If we were like that as a teenager, we probably wouldn't be the people that we are today.
Yeah, well, she
You know?
was that like it's a teenager. That's why I like find it so fascinating. Like she did absolutely everything she wants and never cared at all what anyone like.
Mhm. So she's obviously very content in herself, do you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And that's a
So
good
that's
thing.
yes.
That is a good thing. Do you have any other questions you want to ask me, or?
I when I thought back on the last podcast when you were like asking me if I like what should like you can ask me anything, and I just found the tone you did was like I was sort of like taking it back, like is she meaning I should ask something specific, like I was like is there a hint I'm not getting? Like,
No, not at
no, I mean,
all.
I knew about that you didn't, but like it was just the tone of voice that I
Oh,
didn't.
really? It's like, ask me, Crown. Just ask me, okay?
Yeah, yeah, or some sort like. I,
I was
when
probably
I,
trying too hard. I think that was
yeah,
probably it. I was
yeah,
probably
probably,
trying too hard. I was like, ask me anything. You've got me on the podcast. I'm
yeah,
so open and so
yeah,
honest.
yeah. I'm like what the.
And Crown was like, I'd never want her on the podcast again.
Well, it's more likely you're going on it and then Chris after his despite. No, I'm just kidding.
The whole topic of sexism is a really difficult one, though.
Yeah.
Like, it's so broad, and there's so many different veins, and you know, sometimes you say stuff, and you're like, sometimes I think in my head, Jesus, am I a bad female for saying that? But it's just honestly how I feel inside. As I said to you, sometimes I don't see gender.
Yeah, and
And
that's how I also want to like.
But are we wrong in saying that though? Are we being really naive when we say that?
Like we shouldn't care about gender really when it comes to like we should just like see people as people and persons instead of like.
But unfortunately, that's not how the world works.
No, I know, and also like one thing that one of the articles I read from Laura Bates was she was at the school like information like so she was speaking to all the students and stuff, and she talked about how like who are here are feminists or whatever, and like the female people all raised their hands and not many male or kids, male kid boy, so and that sort of stuff did it. But then she was like she said like, oh, are you for equality? And then everyone raised their hands up, and that's
it. It's that word, and it's like, oh my god.
And then she said like, well, if you're for equality, before she also asked, are you for female rights? And then like then she said like, then you all are feminists, and that's when like some of the people got really angry because like I think one of the problems society has is labels, and
that's it. But that's it. You just hit the nail on the head.
Yeah,
it's the label.
And like feminist, like I would like if people say like you're a feminist. No, I'm not the label. Like I may be for equality, but I'm not gonna label myself a feminist because like you want me to be labeled that way, and like I'm a gamer, for instance, and that label have been really brought down because of certain things that has happened on the internet and that sort of stuff, and I just don't I now, like, I think my Twitter profile says a person that play games, because I don't want to say myself
Yeah, I
as
know what you mean.
a gamer, because like that has been really
I also think that it's a very kind of the cool and hipster thing to do on, let's say, Twitter and social media, to be seen as like, oh my God, I'm all for women's rights and I'm all
yeah
for men's rights. And I think that people sometimes are insincere,
yeah
and they hop on the bandwagon of
oh
what they
yeah
think
the internet is
is the pop.
bandwagon.
Yeah, exactly. What is the popular cause this week? Because I'm going to support this popular
Yeah.
cause. Do you remember when that Coney video went around?
Yeah. Oh my God,
That was
they blew
ridiculous,
everyone.
Crown. Like, do you
Oh
think
my
that
God.
that those people that posted those videos have even thought about, the situation over there since? Do you think that anyone has thought? Is it Joseph Coney was his name, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like, do you think that anybody has?
2012.
Yeah,
And
do you think
they
that
even got
anybody has?
Obama to address it.
Like, seriously, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, it's just, and like that was, as I said, 2012.
Yeah.
I've seen nothing on it since. Like,
Well, I mean, I saw a video. I saw their video on it, on the Coney, the first one that got everyone so fucking up about it. Then I think I saw a video, like if it was 2013 or something, or late 2012, where people are like made a video about pointing out that Coney wasn't like a bigger threat. Everyone had like him under check, or he wasn't really a person that big of an interest. Like there were other people that was more in, like there was so much stuff in that video that pointed out that they basically did it to scam the world.
yeah, no, it was crazy, and that
That,
does annoy me. But I'll give you an example of something
but
that I saw today that
but
actually did make me angry. Though there's this case going on in Ireland at the minute with this hospital, and men and women lost the 5 babies died in the care of this hospital. Okay,
yeah,
and I saw an article today, and it made me so angry. And it made me so angry for the women involved, it made me so angry for the men involved, and it made me so angry about Ireland and our repressed fucking emotions, right? And it was the women and men who had lost these babies. They were
Yeah.
crying in the wards,
yeah.
and they were told to be quiet so
Oh.
as not to scare the other mothers.
Oh my God.
And they had just lost their baby.
Yeah.
And this is only in the last 10 years. We're not talking the 1940s, the 1950s, 60s, 70s, Crown.
Yeah.
We're talking the last 10 years. And that made me angry. That made me angry for women. That made me angry for the fathers of those children.
Yeah.
And that made me angry for society in general. And I was
Yeah.
like, my God, how cruel
Yeah.
and unempathetic could a person be to tell a mother or a father not to cry or to keep it down after they
Yeah.
lost a child?
Yeah.
Like, oh my, that annoys me. Things when it comes to children
Yeah.
annoys me.
Yeah.
Like, they're the issues that anger me,
Mm.
you know, and they're the ones that I'm like, oh God, they're the ones that make me angry. But yeah. So I don't know. Everyone has different causes, I guess. But I just
Yeah.
really, oh my God, I'm so cooler than you. I'm on Twitter and I'm all about all these oh my God amazing events. You
Yeah.
know? I'm the #1 supporter. And
Yeah.
you're like, you can tweet all about it. You can change your Twitter handle. You can change your Twitter photo. You can like as many articles as you want, but liking and actually doing something are not the same thing.
Yeah.
And that's just my personal
Like,
opinion.
yeah, there's not many times that like actually work. Like it has worked good as like I think Egypt used Twitter to the right effect when they rallied people to go to like they had like 1 million people protesting
Yeah.
in like one of the protests, and that like I don't know if they had a dictator or what they have now in Egypt. Like it's confusing to keep track of every
I
country. But one thing I found, yeah, sure, like that side was really I also like always find interesting to have two sides of the coin because yeah, like like amazing that like over 1 million people or 2 million, I don't remember the exact amount that protested this leader and
Mhm.
wanted him to get sacked. But then
Mhm.
you have also remember that that country has like I don't remember exactly how many, but they had like 18, 19 million more in that country. So you
Yeah.
also have to put that in perspective. Yeah, but
But people don't though. It's just like,
yeah,
oh, everyone on Twitter is going to vote this way, or everyone on
yeah,
Facebook is going to vote that way, and it's like,
yeah,
what about the people that are not on social media?
yeah,
It's not statistically, you uh, you can't really use it as evidence.
yeah,
Do you know?
yeah, and
Like
like
I'm not on Facebook, and I
mm,
think only like God, it's such a small percentage of Irish people that are on Twitter.
mm,
And way
okay,
more Irish people are on Facebook, and
yeah,
people don't
I
realize that when they're wrapped up in their little Twitter world. You know what I mean?
yeah, I have my Facebook mainly because it's an easy way to also before like my football team we had
Yeah,
like a group, so we have a group that's like we schedule like next match is this date and how many is coming, how many is not. It's an easy way to keep track who's coming to the games and that sort of stuff. And
yeah.
also I have all my relatives on Facebook and that sort of stuff. So that's mainly why I have
Mhm.
Facebook, like, and also some groups that I follow and that sort of
Oh
stuff.
no,
That's
it's
good
great
for
on so many ways. It is great
yeah.
on so many, on so many levels.
So yeah, but for the people that like I see also some cousins who like post this I feel sorry about myself stories,
I know.
and people like always like go and talk her like, oh, but you're so amazing, you're so great,
I
and
know.
blah
It's
blah
it's
blah.
kind of Facebook is for narcissists was the best
Yeah.
invention of all time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. I would be a very private person, so I wouldn't put too much personal information out there.
I
I
don't
guess it just depends on the individual.
I I don't really post I post yeah, I post like my Instagram.
Mhm.
I sometimes share them, and I posted that my like visa stuff,
Yeah.
and yeah, and the other like it's not like most of the stuff is like not it's mostly generic and like it's yeah.
Yeah. No, that's okay. That's okay. Whatever floats your boat.
Yeah,
Whatever floats your boat. What's the weather like in Sweden today?
it's sunny.
Is it
We have been having Florida weather is what I call it,
really?
and with not haven't have as warm as it is in Florida, but
Yeah.
we have been having suddenly rain, suddenly sunny and rain, and we have had like sun, sometimes it's
Yeah.
just sunny and that sort of stuff. So we have some, we sort of call it like more tropical weatherish. So
Mhm.
so
Well, it's raining really heavy here.
okay the.
I'm looking at it, the rain, and I'm like, I think I might save my dressing gown and my pajamas.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to just say to people. Yeah. So here in Sweden we have the best type of people. Like yeah, we have one of the CEO for this Stockholm public transportation.
Mhm.
He was in Hong Kong, and he got arrested for stealing a credit card reader. Now that's a story.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Yes. I was like, I so want to know the full story when that gets out because, like, why would a CEO of like just in a store steal a credit card reader?
That doesn't make sense at all.
No, that's what makes
Maybe he just really wanted one. Maybe he didn't have one, or maybe he didn't get one for Christmas or something. And just like wanted one,
yeah,
or maybe it's like in Hong Kong. They're pretty cool.
yeah, like someone puts cool stickers on it or something.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, I so want that sticker. I'm taking the whole credit card read.
Oh my God,
Oh
that's
my God,
hilarious.
he's 60 years old as well. Like, what the hell is he doing?
Maybe he's just bored of being CEO. Maybe he just
Yeah.
wanted to go crazy and do something a little bit
Yeah.
wild, you know?
Yeah, he got suspended here as CEO because they have
Oh,
some zero tolerance. So while this is
wow.
being resolved, he's suspended. And
Well, I hope that it's okay. It doesn't seem like the biggest crime of the century.
no, I just find it hilarious more.
Yeah. Well, hopefully he'll make it, you know.
Yeah.
Now, Crown, I better go because I better
Yeah.
put some sort of shape on me, and I better ring that person that I was supposed to go for a run with, even though I don't know will we go for a run now because it's raining. But I suppose
Yeah.
we can still run in the rain.
Yeah.
It just doesn't seem very inviting.
Depends on how much it rains. If it's really pouring, it's like when it's like really light rain, I love that. I could,
Yeah.
especially when I used to play football much more. I used to come into my own when it's like because it's so like you don't get that warm, like it's so nice on your skin.
Yeah, no, it is. That's a nice way to look at it. Maybe then, so
Mm.
I'll use that as inspiration and
Yes.
head out into the cold, wet rain in Dublin.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
anyway, Crown, it's lovely talking to you.
Yes, it was a great
If
podcast,
you
great
ever want me
chat.
to come on again, absolutely no problem.
Yes, of course. I will hopefully bring you on again. That's or I will promise I will bring on you again.
Okay.
That's
You should get Chris on again.
yes, I will. I will.
Get him talking about sexism.
Yes.
Seriously.
That could be really interesting.
Yeah, no, it would. It would.
Yeah, and we can be pissed off at all the people that says he's fat. No, I'm just kidding.
He's not, by the way.
Oh, I know. But
But anyway,
Yes.
well, shall I give my Twitter an L plug?
yes, give your everything your plug.
Okay, well, you can find the show online on the RTE player, so it's www.rte.ie. The show is Chris and Ciara on 2FM, and it's on from Sunday night to Thursday night. And my Twitter is @IamKieraKing.
Mm.
Oh, and my Instagram is instagram.com/KieraKing. CIARAKING.
It was a great time having you. It was a great podcast. It ran 1 hour long. So
No way. Have we been talking for that long?
yes,
Oh my
we did.
goodness.
So yeah, really fun. Hopefully we'll do more podcasts, but since I hopefully will get in a few more for you all, but before I leave, and after I leave, I have no idea how my situation is more sparse. So yeah, you can follow me, Story of Crown, pretty much everywhere. Unified branding for the win. That's how it's. So yeah, thank you all for listening, watching, whatever you're doing, and I will see you guys another time. Bye.